push.
Hey everyone, Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils, and you're listening to the Uncle Puckers New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go Devils!
You know, I would have loved to have actually heard Danico and Spalding call this game today as opposed to the national network, but we are the Uncle Puckers. I'm Chris with Bobby, Pennsylvania, and Timmy, which is really
You think
funny.
you were disappointed? I saw Meyer come out for the talk after the 3 stars. I'm like, wait, where's Rachel? Where's he going? Why's he going to the bench? I'm like, oh, come on.
You went all the way to Newark and you didn't.
I went all the way
to see Rachel.
Apparently, Rachel was hanging out at American Whiskey, said a few Twitter people after the game. So
now I'm at Reds instead of American Whiskey. My whole day was shot. It's just weird.
Well,
I thought it was part of the ticket package, Chris.
I was trying to. I had the garage guy looking after my kid. I was like, had all my lines ready.
The garage guy looking after my kid. Don't worry, I'm a professional.
Yeah, exactly.
Professional what?
So hang on, let me fix my shit here.
I'm all discombobulated. This is what happens when we don't podcast for like 4
Are you
days.
all
My
right?
shit's all.
You're gonna be all right.
I don't know. It was a long week, man. But today was awesome. I mean, I can't wait to talk about everything about this game. But we got to start first. Well, I'll do my shout out. We'll do the advertising in a minute. Bob, boots on the ground here, man. Tell us about what was the atmosphere like? Give us your whole rundown of today. And real curious to hear that.
Okay, well, the first thing I have to say is Marky's back. I'm going to start with that. I think that's obvious to everybody. I was a little concerned getting there. I thought I knew that like a 12:30 or 1 o'clock start, generally those bars would open at like 11. Apparently it was maybe more like 10. It was so insanely crowded. When we got there, I was worried, because we both had each of our kids there. We had young kids, so we wanted to go in the back and just kind of get something to eat. The amount of blue in the bars pregame was scaring me. It was annoying me, quite frankly. There was a lot of Ranger fans there. Thankfully, it didn't really translate to the game. It's not like the old days. I mean, maybe 20% Ranger fans, if that, give or take. I'm not really sure. But it was nowhere near the kind of that 50-50 we used to get, or quite frankly, sometimes it used to be kind of 60-40 them, it felt like, right? There was enough of them to be very annoying. I had a very annoying section behind me that didn't really know much about hockey. But the atmosphere was good. The atmosphere was alive.
They're just yelling.
Put
the puck in the net.
The run at the shoot.
I was trying to text you guys some of the things they were saying so that I wouldn't forget, because some of them were so idiotic. I mean, as simple as wanting a penalty for like just a nice normal check. Constantly saying, put the puck in the net when they weren't even in the offensive zone yet. Like, it wasn't like shoot or get it on net. It was like, I want you to put the puck in the net. Like, yeah, that's generally what we're looking to do.
Quick question. So I have a better understanding of the annoyance level of this person. On a scale of 1 to 10, I guess, well, kind of compare it to the guy that was sitting behind us for the Toronto Devil game.
Okay, well, what would he be?
He would be a 9.
Okay, then this whole group was a 4 or 5. They weren't annoying in the sense that they were being like ruthless douchebags. They were annoying in the sense that I didn't know what kind of hockey they've ever watched in their lives. And at one point when they equated their own team, and he said, I quote, "I've seen Children of the Corn play better," I just really couldn't figure out what that meant. I had to text you guys that.
Turn around to him and go, "He wants you too, Malachi."
Right. They just kept yelling, dump and chase, dump and chase. I'm like, yeah, that's an exciting brand of hockey. Dump and chase, Rangers. Let's go do that. It was just very weird.
Hockey players do, right? They dump and chase. Yeah. Dump and chase, dump and chase.
Yeah. The good news is, they left a little early. A lot of them.
There you go.
That was the best
Right out.
Right? Ranger fans headed for the exits early.
It was a little tense in the beginning, and quite frankly, not that exciting for the first period. Maybe they had some great moments, but it wasn't as exciting. But obviously, it got way more exciting, and the fans were great. I thought the fans were great, and the Ranger fans left early. So yeah, it was really good. I didn't have the suite experience that I was expecting, though. Like literally,
Suite, not
right,
SWEETT.
we were supposed to be in the
Sweet,
suite.
gotcha.
Derek does not know how to purchase tickets, so that didn't happen. So instead, you know that big devil sign in
I'm
the corner?
surprised you let anybody else buy you tickets. You
Yeah, we're gonna
never
get to that,
let
right? We're gonna get to that.
people buy the
So
tickets.
you know that big devil light up thing, right, in the corner when they get a
Yeah.
goal? Okay, so if you could push yourself against the wall there, that's where we were. So here's the thing. That means that there's no two ways in or out. There's only one,
Right.
right? It's one of those annoying rows where seats 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the ones against the wall. So you got to pass by like 7, 8 people to get to your cage.
Corner. Right.
So we were there. I don't know how he messed that up so royally, but yeah, for anyone who knows anything about me with sporting events, generally I buy the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I do a really good job of it because at this stage of my life, there's one thing I want if I'm not going to pay for the really good seats, and that's comfort. Comfort in any way. It could be as simple as saying, hey, the 4 of us are going. I'm getting an end seat for the 4 of us. It just makes it easier. I don't have to be on seat 1. Just makes it easier to do that. Convenience. If you're already going to be in the second to top row at that price range, just go to the full back row because now you can stand up against the wall. It's kind of fun. You chat with everybody. So yeah, I don't usually let other people buy.
You don't have Malachi and his buddies behind you.
Right.
Isaac and Malachi.
I give it to Derek, and I'm blocked
That is such a fucking weird comment.
surrounded by Ranger fans. Yeah,
It's a comment that makes no sense.
I've
seen
like,
children
when
of
you
the
when
corn
you
play the-
text, that was really unsettling when you texted it to us. It's like that is a really unsettling comment to make. Like,
yeah.
I just
I have
don't get it.
they did remake that movie a couple of years ago. Was it a hockey movie and I missed it? Like, did they change it up to? I don't know. I'm just saying.
I have cornfields too, so this is gonna sit with me for a couple months now.
He
Great.
who walks behind the row. He who walks behind the row.
They were very down on their team very fast. I can give you that. After dealing with the first period of scoreless, and just kind of a little bit of back and forth, Rangers chance that tried to get off the ground, didn't really happen. Devil's chance drowned them out. They ran out of steam real quick, especially after Brat's goal. Like 1-0 was no big deal. Then Brat comes down. That was demoralizing. Everybody knew at that point. So.
Oh yeah, they had nothing going. So real quick, we'll give a little shout out to our Hockey Podcast Network sponsors, and we will get on with the show. So this NHL season has been as predictable as a puck rolling on its edge, and no one knows where it's going, but that just means there's time for your favorite team to figure things out. And if your favorite team is the New York Rangers, well, today you got a giant nail in your coffin as your playoff hopes shrivel to slim to none. So all you Ranger fans that want to get on the bandwagon, what?
It's called shrinkage.
Shrinkage. For all you Ranger fans that want to get on the bandwagon and maybe, come over to the cool team, to the dark side, and be a Devil fan, and maybe you can bet on them to do some damage in the Stanley Cup playoffs because we're going to be there, and you're most likely not. But you can do all that at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. And if you're new to DraftKings, new customers can bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, visit dkng.co/audio. That's DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN. The crown is yours. All
Did that
right.
get longer?
We are back.
All right. Void in
Spelt
Ontario.
Void in Ontario. Those people in Ontario, they're no fun. I mean, that's really it. So, hey guys, thank you so much for thank you very much, DJ. I try my best. Thanks for hopping on with us tonight. This is going to be fun.
DJ followed my Seamus goal bet today. Sorry, buddy.
Oh yeah, don't listen to Tim. Listen to me. I give nonstop winning advice. I mean, I figure by the playoffs I should be able to retire. That's how awesome I'm doing.
Wow.
I have 42 cents in my DraftKings account. 42 cents. I was thinking about cashing out.
It rivals your PayPal account for the Uncle Puckers.
Yeah,
which one's higher?
It's got that's got a couple $100 in it. That's not bad. We don't touch it, but it's just sitting there.
Wait,
but
you guys are getting paid for this?
Well, they give us money every quarter. Not a lot, but they give us some money.
We haven't worked out the details of disbursement yet, Tim.
No, we just let it go in there. And
just too easy right now. We want something more difficult.
Well, with all my flawless reads, the money's just going to keep pouring in. So
there you go.
Yeah. So Tim.
Yeah.
Timmy. So Tim, 4 games against the Rangers this year, 3-0-1, 2 games in our building where we allowed them no goals.
No goals.
No goals. What's your impression?
Marky had both of them, right?
Yes.
What?
Marky had both of them, right?
Marky had both of them. He played every game against the Rangers this year.
The other one, when we went across the river, we just fucking kicked the shit out of them at the end of December.
And then we lost in overtime in the third game.
But, I honestly, to use that meme from Mad Men, it's like, I don't even think about you anymore. I don't want to play with you anymore. You guys fucking suck. You are no fun as a rival. I want a new one. Boo. No, it was a good game. Like, we were on the front foot from the start. They looked rested. I think we've kind of hit on a good lineup here, that we've talked about. Would you just hit a parlay or something?
No, I was watching I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was watching the Flyer Montreal game, and the Habs were down 1-0 after 2, and they won 3-2, which is a bigger nail into the Rangers coffin.
That's good.
So
Hudson had a really nice and
everybody doing their part.
That kid. I may have been a little premature making fun of Lane Hudson.
Why would you make fun of Lane Hudson?
Because he sucked defensively at the beginning of the year, and he's short, and it's just more fun to call him 5'4" Bobby Orr, but he's actually fucking nasty. So anyway, moving on. I think we're on the front foot. The first period, they didn't get a shot until 12 minutes in. One thing that kind of got swept under the rug, I think, when the announcers were talking about during they had 16 games in 31 days or something like that in March.
Yeah.
And I guess Keefe said they only had 2 practices during then, and then they had 2 practices this week. One of the things that they're working on is D-zone structure. So I think kind of something that had happened as part of the mess that was January, February, March was slipping away from the D-zone structure that was so good in December, and that was on display tonight. I thought they were really good, kind of limiting chances, keeping them outside. And anything that did slip through, Marky just shut the door. Special teams cashed in. Like, that power play goal was awesome. Like, 4 seconds in, that's ridiculous. And I don't know if you heard the sound that shot made and the pad hit in the padding at the end. That was a great video, Bob, even though you looked like you recorded it from like the parking lot on a Motorola.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't buy the tickets, Tim.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't watched
that was fully zoomed in too.
Why? Can you hear it on Bob's video?
A little bit, yeah. It sounds like a gunshot. That was cool. And then that Brad Short, he was like, we're not losing this game. And then
let's see if we can hear it. No, just hear Bobby yelling.
Yeah, that's because
we didn't hear anything over the mic.
Because he's basically closer on his couch in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's true.
I think they owe me some money back. Damn it. That was expensive as hell, man.
Sounds like it. You're like, what happened here?
Hey,
that's why I was supposed to be just
it was a good game up and down the lineup. Nobody, I don't think, really did anything particularly egregious. There are no real bad turnovers. I like Dylan's play on the shorthanded goal where Zibanejad was kind of creeping down the boards, thinking he's going to wrap it up the boards, and then he found Brad up the middle and kind of and snuck him off on a 2-on-1. Then we just shut the door in the third. We did get caved in numbers wise in the third period, so they are doing that kind of turtling a little bit. I don't know, maybe the Rangers found a little bit more life, but it didn't matter. I mean, we scored 2 more, including the empty netter. Brad and Nico, man, like, I just can't say enough about how good these guys are. Like, they're carrying this team and carrying the water, carrying what Jack left behind. Yeah. Luke was good again. I texted this to you. I still think Nemec is going to be a good player in this league, but right now, Seamus Casey's the guy. Like
Finally.
some of his metrics weren't great, but like the kid just has like some juice, you know, like
Yes.
he just has something, you know, that I don't know what it is. Like, you know, he doesn't necessarily play any different, but just that seam pass to Timo was beautiful. Like just his reads are correct. He's not getting burned on anything in particular. He's more active. He even stepped up on one play coming across the blue line and stepped up on somebody. He weighs $150 maybe. I know he doesn't weigh 160. He's lying about that shit. So you know, all in all, good game. Beat the shit out of the Rangers. Yay, go team.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I was really a couple of things. You know, this is the dreaded. Well, I guess the next game is the dreaded fourth game after 3 in a row. But you know, you had 2 good games against Minnesota. They were feeling good. You know I think they were 3-4 before this game over their last 4 games. And we talked about it on the last show, the 5-day break. Like we've seen this team completely revert back to I don't know what the fuck I'm doing after they've been on break. This was not that. And you know what, Mike, you're absolutely right, because I was just going to bring that up. He writes the Canes should not look past us the way we're playing and the way we're playing at the beginning of the year. And he's right. You know, we're getting back to that way that we were playing in the beginning of the year, where, you know, defensive, just lock it down, allowing teams nothing that of substance, controlling play, scoring the timely goals, all that stuff. They're getting back to it, but they seem like they're getting back to it and doing it much more in the team effort. There were no passengers in this game. There was no passengers in the last handful of games. Everybody stepped up. I don't care if we never see Lazar or Bastion in Devil uniforms again.
Yeah.
I like this lineup. I like Daniel Strong. I like what he's doing. Did I say his name? Sprong. I think he's going to end up being an impactful player in the playoffs. I do. I don't think you can sleep on him. I think right now he's kind of testing the waters and making sure to be responsible defensively, because that was always his knock, right? Yeah, the guy can score, but he's dog shit on defense. I think he's trying to be mindful of that, and that is taking away from the offense. When he gets more comfortable, I think we'll start seeing him pot a few goals. I can't say enough about Seamus Casey. Like, you guys know, I wanted him over Nemec from day one.
Perfect.
You're 100% right, Tim. The kid's got something. You know, it's just that ease of play. You know, he doesn't overthink stuff. He's natural in his movement. Like, Nemec looks like he thinks himself out of position sometimes. Overthinks shit. And you know, when you're thinking while playing, you're making mistakes. And I think Seamus Casey, this just kind of comes a little bit easier to him at this point. And yeah, it's Cody Glass, like DJ just wrote, another guy that I think can be impactful for this team. But it all comes down to the big 3 right now. I mean, it's Nico, Timo, and Bratt. They're carrying this team. You know, Markey, of course, but offensively, they're carrying this team, and everybody's kind of coming along for the ride. And 2 weeks ago, I was thinking this team I was worried about losing the number 3 spot a couple of weeks ago. And now that's pretty much locked up. We pretty much ended the Rangers' hopes of making the playoffs, which is awesome. And I think that if Markey keeps playing this way and this team keeps going, I'm not saying we're beating the Canes, but I think it's going to be a heck of a much better series than what people think it is.
I want everyone in the national media now to just count us out. Just say, you know, everybody, every single person that I listen to, every podcast I listen to, they're already setting up because of that Canes Caps game that got kind of out of hand the other day.
Yeah,
like they're already being like, well, that's going to be a crazy round 2 matchup. And it's like, you sure about that? You sure about that?
You know, Chris, yeah.
I was just say you hit on something that I wanted to bring up too regarding the leadership and the quality of play that we're seeing from Hischier, Timo, and Bratt. It is so obvious how much they are capable of carrying this team. What is really exciting with just a few games left and this kind of tuning up that I feel like we're doing is that they're all doing it at the same time. It's not like we had a lot of times during the years like, oh, he's just really going right now. Where's this guy? And we said that about Timo and Bratt, even though he was quietly collecting all those points, we still kind of said, where's the game breaking mentality? The 3 of them, it just feels like they got it in a room and said, you know, we're doing this. Follow us, everybody. And I'm just really, really comfortable now watching them do that because they're all doing it together. So if all three of them are going and everybody else is doing their job and Marky's back, I'm starting to get pretty confident looking at the playoffs.
They're all business. I mean, those three are all business. I loved everything about Timo's game today, Brat's game. He's just all around awesome. But like we said, it's those secondary guys. Like, dude, Paul Cotter got his absolute ass kicked in this game. I mean, especially in the first period. I mean, this guy couldn't get out on the ice without getting fucking lit up, a stick to his face, elbow to his face, whatever. Paul Cotter's another one. I mean, he's on our fourth line. I mean, the guy with probably the best hands on the team is on the fourth line. If they put it all together, look out. They can do some damage. It's I'm still on pace for my 9-1 record in the last 10.
Yeah, I mean they're 8-4-1 since that Flyers game. The not the trade deadline game, but basically the first game with like, this is our team. And I feel like we're starting to kind of I think there's a little bit in them of like, so the shock of losing everybody to injury and that kind of, losing Jack and then losing Dougie and then losing C and kind of like shit and double shit.
Tim, after last year, right? It's here we go again.
And now that they've hit on this kind of lineup, it seems to be kind of coming together. We went 4-1, then we lost 3, and now we've gone 4-1 again. And now that this game on Tuesday is huge, I think psychologically for them to get that 4th win. They can do that because once they get that, then I think it just they'll come easy. So
I mean, it's Boston, right? I mean, Boston. There's a team,
the last place Boston Bruins.
Need to. I don't want to hear this crap about. They're all professional hockey teams. Like, just win this one. Come on, let's win this one.
I think the Bruins.
I'm telling you, I'm still sticking with it. They're not losing the rest of the year. They are not losing another game. Look at their schedule, and if the team that played today comes out and plays against every team that we have left, we don't lose another game.
Sure, you can make an argument to follow that through the end of the season. Yeah, it's just statistically it's very hard to do, but you've pulled bigger shit out of your ass before, so maybe they're going 9-1.
My ass too.
So I have some fun facts.
Oh, we like fun facts. Do we have a Year of the Devil tonight or no?
No, I wasn't home.
Fair enough.
Do that. We could do trivia.
We could do trivia, or I have a devil. We can do that.
I guess one more thing before I rattle off some fun facts. So I liked that Dowling, Tatar, Palat line. Palat's looked better in the past couple of games, and I think he has all season. Same with Tatar, and Dowling continues to be kind of an admirable fill-in. I mean, he's not a very good hockey player, but he just works his bag off, and that's all we ask for. And I think he kind of slots in well with Tatar and Palat as a line. I think that kind of works well. Yeah.
Do you think that Dowling has played his way into a permanent spot for the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, it's him or Lazar, and Lazar objectively, the eye test, like analytically, is worse.
Because if neither of them are going to score goals, it's what are they doing other than that? Yeah. And I think that Dowling absolutely has is head and shoulders above all the other stuff. Then,
and Mike and DJ kind of agree with me. Like, Lazar stinks now, man. Like, I feel bad because like he seems like such a good dude, but it's just like, sorry, man, you suck. And Bastian, if I never
can take Bryce's job, and he'll be great at it.
If I never see Bastian again, I will not lose a wink of sleep. So let's see. So Timo now has 8 goals in his last 17 games. That's always fun. Mm-hmm. And just to gloat a little bit about what I was writing about, 3 months ago about Timo scoring all of his goals in March and April. It was 35% of his goals.
Wait, you mentioned that before?
Yeah.
On this show?
It up. Yeah, no, I wrote about it. Nobody reads it. Nobody reads what I write, though.
I'm not sure.
I pour my heart and soul into these
again.
blogs.
What happens with Timo in March?
He scores a lot in March and April.
Oh, right.
And people thought it was just March, but it's actually March and that little piece in April too.
Nice.
So Nico has 16 points in his last 12 games, which is pretty good.
Mike Ruff reads it.
So this is Nico's 96th career multi-point game. That ties him 12th in franchise history with Who do you think?
12th in franchise history for most multi-point games.
For
Scott
90,
Gomez.
he has not. You got one word right.
Scott Stevens.
You still have
Scott
one word.
Niedermeyer.
There you go.
Niedermeyer.
So
Give
that's
me
the
the Scots.
it's the 9th 3-point game of the season for Nico, which ties him within 6th in franchise history for 3-point games in the season. What a pass from Seamus to Timo. I'm reading my notes from the game that I pour into my blog. So the first time ever the Devils have beaten the Rangers by 4 or more 3 times in the same season.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's
and
cool.
The first time in franchise history, the Devils had 2 goalies with 4+ shutouts. So,
yeah,
a lot of fun facts.
Jacob Markstrom is only the second goalie to shut out the Rangers twice in one season.
Yeah, there's a guy, Nick Cahill, on Twitter that it's like Dev's stats guy or something like that. He does he's like the producer behind the scenes for like Bryce and Dano stuff. So he throws out all these fun facts. So I just steal all of them and claim them as my own.
As well, you should. I mean, it's on the
Unlike
internet.
the Timo Meyer proclamation.
That's all you. Nobody else saw that shit coming.
Mike says he raised me. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you, buddy.
I told you that. You weren't listening.
Marty Mush's brother.
I read them too. I got to read them so I can prepare for the show.
Hey, DJ, is that true? That's really Marty Mush's brother?
We're waiting for an answer. Like he's going to say something.
Yeah, Nick Cahill. Yeah, that's
yeah.
No fucking way. All right, that's funny.
Yeah. What's the bigger accomplishment? Alex Ovechkin breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record, or Sidney Crosby being
all-time
a game player for 20 years?
All-time goal record.
Wait, what was Sidney Crosby's?
A point-a-game guy every year for 20 years straight. Breaking also Wayne Gretzky's record. But that one nobody talked about. Everybody, of course, the goal scorer one, of course, everyone's going to talk about. But which one's more impressive to you?
I got to go with goal scoring.
I'm going with Sidney.
See, for every goal, you can have two assists. But you can only have one goal. So I'm going
there
with
you go. There you go.
I do not think that
people got assists on all of Ovi's empty netters, too.
I love Sidney Crosby. I love everything about the guy. I love how he plays. And every time for 20 years I've watched him play, I just say to myself, man, I wish he was a Devil.
Scoring goals. I mean, this is going to sound dumb and simplistic, but scoring goals is
what it's about.
Wins games. And that's the end goal of the game. And to do that more than anybody ever has in history in the regular season.
I think I'm biased just impressive. I'm biased on the fact of just how much I hate Alexander Ovechkin. Like I just can't stand him.
I can't wait. Doing? I'm opening. I'm addicted to nicotine, so I started. I quit smoking cigarettes like 3-4 years ago, and started using Zins, and now I've moved on to Zones because they're cheaper and you get more in the cans. So they're a real pain in the ass to open. So I was opening one
like a dip.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a dip.
They're like little pouches. They're like Skull Bandits, but now they're kind of cool.
Oh,
again.
like the Bandits, yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you
80s?
Mike, why would you like Ovechkin? I fucking can't stand. I know
I like Ovechkin.
I know, but it's like he killed us for fucking 20 years every single time that we played Washington.
I like him because of the joy and fun that he has playing hockey and how much
great.
He embraces so with Ryan. Okay, so
just in the summertime, but in the summertime he's shooting fucking grizzly bears with Putin. So I'm sorry, I just don't like the motherfucker.
That's fine. I know it's very difficult to separate the man from that, but I don't think he's shooting grizzly bears with Putin. I think Putin's holding his family hostage. But
I like him.
So I like the joy that he has in his game, and one of the cooler things, if you look at the juxtaposition and contrast between Gabe Perreault, who just came up from BC, and Ryan Leonard, who just came up from BC. Ryan Leonard got a text message from Ovechkin saying, "Hey, meet us out at this bar." So they went out to a bar. They're singing. They're having beers. I can guarantee you, no one reached out to Gabe Perreault. Chris Kreider probably doesn't even know who the fuck that kid is. And that's what I like about Ovechkin. They brought him into the circle. They went out together. It kind of worked out nicely for them because his first game was in Boston. But for him to do that as a captain and kind of pass that along, I think is pretty important. That's why it's kind of hard to not like him. He's also pretty funny, and some of his commercials in this area are fucking hilarious.
And what he did against the Capitals the last time they played them this year, where he made the entire I said the Capitals, I meant the Wild, when he made the entire team stay on the ice to give props to the Flower. I thought that was just as classy as they come. So maybe I need to get out of my own preconceived hate, I guess, for Ovechkin and kind of see him for what he is nowadays. To me, I go back and I'm just like, the guy's killed us for 20 fucking years. Fuck him.
I just always loved him too. When he burst on the scene, and it was him and Crosby, and you got like you got one hand, you got like this all around terrific player in Crosby. And then you got Ovechkin, who's coming up with him, was just like a scoring machine. Like their types of play were they were both like leading the league, but in such different ways. And I just always loved watching them score. It's amazing to me. We've talked about this. It's kind of like when Rivera was your closer. Like, what's coming, and you still can't do anything. You still can't hit it. Over and over, 800 and whatever some odd times. Like, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is, and he's going to break it tomorrow in the island. I have no doubt that he's breaking it tomorrow.
The ticket prices?
No,
at UBS. They're hilarious. I don't have it in front of me anymore, but like even the cheapest seat in the house is like almost $1,000. It's probably over $1,000 now. It would be hilarious Islander fan behavior if they're paying people, they're selling off their tickets or going to this game, like paying $3,000 a ticket to go see this, and he does the score, so you just get to watch fucking the Islanders play.
Yeah, you get to watch the Islanders.
You get to watch
nobody.
You get to watch Noah Dobson chip it off the glass 50 times a night.
Yeah, it was actually falling down behind the net every time he's back there. Yep.
Yeah. At the game today, they were doing the thing where they cheer a Devils image on the screen, boo a Rangers, and all that kind of stuff. But at one point, the biggest boo of the entire night was like they were just going around the arena looking at Ranger fans, and they found an Islander fan. It just got the biggest boo because even the Ranger, we were all like joining together, like, fuck this guy, dude. What are you doing here?
No, I don't think so, Mike. You asked if the Islander fans will boo Ovi if he scores, if he gets the record. I don't think so. I don't think there's any fan base classless enough, not even the Islanders, to boo that. Great history when you're seeing it. I mean, it's like watching a team win a Stanley Cup in your building. You might be pissed, but you're going to stay and watch the celebration. You're going to, and by the time it's all over, you're not going to feel nearly as bad as you did right when the thing first ended. So
I mentioned I was there when he got his 700th at the Rock to take the lead on the Devils, and I cheered it like it was a Devils goal because it was monumentous. And then, awesomely enough, the Devils came back and won that game. So it was like the perfect thing. I got to see that, and still, I mean, so it is pretty cool. But I didn't even realize that I was cheering that much for it. It was just instinctual. I'm there for my team, but he scores that goal, and I just instinctively, it was pretty exciting. And
we're having a debate at work. We're having a debate at work today about what's the hardest thing to do in sports, because they were talking. A couple of people were talking about the goal, the goal leading and stuff, and it's super hard to score goals in the NHL, but I still stick with hitting a baseball. Period.
Hitting a baseball.
It's by far the hardest thing in all the sports to do.
You fail at it so much.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Just it, isn't it? Right? Like who's the best hitter on the Mets?
Like average-wise,
yeah, not for power. Who's the best average hitter?
I mean, I get at least from an on-base percentage, I guess it should probably be Juan Soto this year. But Nimmo's had his time.
Soto's like average, around about career average.
He's new to me, but probably just sub 300, I would imagine.
He's like a 280, 290. I think he's like 280, 200,
right? Let's just for math's sake to make this.
I mean, McNeil was 3-something for a while, but he was just the hitter kind of thing.
Yeah, I think league average.
That's not fair to McNeil.
The league average has declined pretty significantly.
But let's just use 300 right now.
Use 300. Yeah.
That means that one of the greatest players in Major League Baseball, right? I mean, this guy just signed a fucking $10 trillion contract for the next 30 years or whatever the hell it is. Right? So he's one of the greatest players in the league, one of the greatest players on the planet, does his job successfully 30% of the time. Where would you be in life if you did your job 30% of the time?
Well, I can tell you exactly where I am with that.
I mean,
have you seen my beautiful home? Yeah, no.
Before I semi-retired, I kind of was like right on that snake until I make it train. So this probably isn't the best analogy.
No, but
I'm still there.
It's an excellent point. And to that point, even further, so the most people in the league are doing it more like 25% of the time.
Exactly.
And of course, there's defensive element to the game. We all get that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how difficult it is.
I mean, you should see my creative player in MLB The Show. All right, like he's hitting over 500, 120 dingers a year. Like, come on, you think it's
still only does his job half of the time?
That's because of the game AI, Chris.
Well,
next time, why don't you put Juan Soto on some skates and put a 6'5", 250-pound guy running at him from third base and see how well he hits that ball.
Ooh.
Well, if he's on skates and then he's in the infield, he's really at a disadvantage.
But what about if we took baseball and put him on ice skates? Essentially, you played the entire game on a sheet of ice. How cool would that be? You have to hit on skates and then skate your ass off, speed skate to first base. Oh, God, that would be fun.
I think every sport would be better on ice skates now that you mentioned. I mean, we all saw the pickleball. Have you seen the pickleball on ice skates? That looks pretty cool. You imagine bowling with ice skates? How dangerous that would be. Ball just landed on your head, fall on your head.
I mean, I almost fall when I throw the ball now.
The balls are getting heavy as I get older.
Chris is so little, just drags him down the aisle.
Isn't it a 10-pounder my damn fingers will fit in? This sucks.
Right?
I only
got a torpedo bat in the pants there, Mike.
On that note, we will be right back right after these quick messages. Okay, we're back. For anybody watching us, we're just slipping that in later. So it's for the audio podcast.
Speaking of torpedo bats.
Do you guys want to do a double you know?
Sure.
All right. Since we got some people playing with us tonight.
Game. I love when there's people online. Yep.
Yeah. So what's the chat rule? They can hang on. I need to refresh.
You just gotta hold it. Like
just
let me refresh.
We'll go over okay, go ahead. Oh, where's Timmy back? When he comes back. Yeah, so for you guys listening, if you know the answer, just don't type it in until one of these guys gets it.
Yeah, just keep note of maybe at what clue you got the answer if you want some kind of bragging rights. But yeah, don't.
There you go. All right, and away we go.
Shall we play a game?
Buckle up, boys and girls. It is time for the Devil You Know on the Uncle Pucker New Jersey Devil Podcast.
Need a refresher course on the rules. I will be giving clues today for a former New Jersey Devil player. Bobby and Tim get to guess. You guys can also guess. 3 incorrect guesses before they are eliminated. They can ask me any question they want. I cannot answer. It's completely up to me. Are you guys ready to play?
Roll it.
Sure.
This former New Jersey Devil player just had a birthday. He was born on March 31st, 1984 in Etobicoke, Ontario. If I'm saying that wrong for anybody maybe from Etobicoke listening, I apologize.
I've never heard of this place.
He had played
they don't get the signal up there.
Etobicoke.
Whatever. He played for 10 years with 3 different NHL teams. I'll give the teams later. He was an undrafted free agent. And on August 12th, 2005, he was drafted by the New Jersey Devils and assigned to Albany for the 05-06 season. He made his NHL debut on March 15th, 2007 against the Carolina Hurricanes. And he scored his first NHL goal in the following game against the Canes. It was a home and home against John Graham in a 7-2 New Jersey Devil loss.
Jeez, these are the fucking dark day Devils, man.
Yeah, they are. He played 81 games in the 07-08 season, where he had 9 goals for 22 points. And he led the team in penalty minutes that year with 183. In the 08-09 season, he scored 17 goals. He had his breakout year in the 2011-2012 season, where he scored 30 goals, 48 points for the Devils.
This was 11-12 season?
Yes.
30 and 4th. Wow.
2000.
It was the 2011
12
season.
yeah. Under Peter DeBoer. He was one time suspended 10 games for leaving the bench in a brawl in a preseason game against Buffalo.
Oh, that rings a bell.
Do I want to give it away yet? Do you guys know anybody? Yeah, easy, Mike saying. God damn it, DJ.
Is it?
No. We'll keep going.
Oh.
On July 5th, 2013.
It's David Clarkson.
Yes, it's David Clarkson because you saw the chats because DJ typed it in. It is David Clarkson.
I was going to say
David
Travis Zajac.
Travis Zajac. Well, on July 5th, 2013, he signed as an unrestricted free agent with Toronto.
The 30 goal you're about to say that he signed with
$36 million contract.
All right.
Nice job, Timmy. Nice job, David Clarkson. What do you guys think of David Clarkson?
I was a big David Clarkson fan.
For that 1 year.
No, I kind of liked his play. And of course, I liked it as that 1 year when he got offensively a lot better. But I liked the threat of him on a lower line, maybe more than what he actually became with us. So I think it kind of shows when he left and took all the money and then kind of faded into obscurity that, that was the right call.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they knew what they were doing by letting him walk to free agency like that, and not resigning him. I mean, that was also a fucking bag that he got from
Big
Toronto.
Time.
Yeah.
I mean, that contract was crazy.
And that was another one of those go home guys, right? See, I had a real problem during that. There was that era where everybody was like going home and to play with whomever instead of like staying with our team and building something out of it. So it took me years to get over some of those moves. Like again, how many times I got to say, why did Niedermeyer throw Anaheim? Bring Rob here earlier, we would have been fine.
DJ brought up that ridiculous tic-tac-toe power play goal that is one of the best power play goals you'll ever see. I don't know if you guys remember it or not.
Yes, I do actually. And I liked Clarkson when he played for us. I thought the same thing though. There was no way you can pay him that kind of money. And then I think his first year as a Leaf, he played 60 games. He had 11 points, 5 goals and 11 points. So in 60 games for almost $37 million. So, I mean, it's the Leafs, so screw them. But
fuck them.
I do want to do one thing else before, if you guys have anything else. But the last thing I want to do, and I was going to do this before, and one of the guys on the chat threw it up there earlier. I want to just do a little. We know we're playing the Canes, right? This is done. It's going to happen. It's our first round matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk so much in depth about the Canes and everything, go through all the numbers on later shows. But just a quick kind of overview. I'm going to put a position out there. You tell me who has the advantage, okay? We'll start with goaltending. All right, New Jersey, Carolina. Again, we'll go over numbers later. I don't have Freddie Anderson's numbers or Kochekov, whatever his name is.
Just vibes.
Yeah. Okay. So who has the advantage in goaltending? We'll go Bob, Tim, me.
I mean, I have to go us. We have the advantage in goaltending.
Yeah. Tim?
Yeah, the same. I mean, Markey, just pure aura. Like, I think, Anderson's just coming back from injury. Kochekov's a fucking head case. Even as from a tandem perspective, I think we've got it.
We've said it a lot.
Their goaltending isn't bad by any means. And they could be good, but I think we're better, particularly the Markey that we're seeing the past couple games.
Their goaltending is capable. I'll give them that. I'll put them in the capable category. The problem I've always had with Carolina, and I've always said that I felt that this was the reason that they haven't been able to get that next step, is because they refuse to invest in upgrading the goaltending.
Right.
They just don't. They are a team, and they've come out and said this. They believe that goaltending is extremely arbitrary and random a lot of the time, and they feel like just league average should get you where you want to go. And
maybe you need a random year where a goaltender steps up and wins you a cup. Maybe try looking at it that way.
Right.
Brett
They
Anderson's not
do
the
the
guy.
they do the math on like 905 save percentage versus a 910 save percentage and what that looks like over the course of a year. From the volume of shots you give up, it's like like 10
I get all
goals
that.
maybe.
In advanced metrics, I get all that too, but like I just like the old fashioned look who's better. Who's going to win you that one more game?
And that's what I
That's
think.
just it. Real quick, like that's just it, though, Bob. You're 100% right. All those numbers and how they value or devalue a goaltender is absolutely the way you probably should do it over an 82 game season. But come the playoffs, you're gonna need that guy that you said is gonna stand on his head and win you a series or 2 or 3 or hopefully 4. I mean, that's what the goaltender is supposed to do.
Gretzky used to say that about Grant Fuhr. Like, Grant Fuhr, I think his career save percentage is like 890 or something like that. But he'd win you a 6-5 game and he'd make, stop the last 10 shots, like, and stand on his head. You need that, that is the one thing I worry about with Markstrom is he has occasionally given up a pretty questionable goal here and there. But I also do think he is very much capable of absolutely slamming the door. Like he made 2 ridiculous saves today.
Yeah, he did.
That they're really like one short side on Zibanejad on the power play that looked a lot closer in the replay than I thought it was. So hopefully, yeah. I mean, he's back. I think we have the goalie advantage.
He usually makes up for that either way too. Like, yeah, he might let that one in, but he's doing 2, off his ass kind of things that otherwise would have changed the game later in the game. Even today, a couple of those saves, there were really opportune times to make those great saves.
Yeah,
he may let in one full game.
He may let in one, but if it's 3-2 in the third and Aho and Svechnikov have a 2-on-1 and he makes a ridiculous save, like that's the one that's going to win us things.
And Mike brought up like Stuart Skinner last year. I mean, that was it. That was Stuart Skinner last year was what the Canes needed Freddie Anderson to do just once. And, they might be able to win the cup. And maybe this is their year. I don't know.
The only like guy regularly kind of considered elite that's actually won a cup over the past, decade has been Vasilevsky. You look at like Hill and Binnington and have all they've all been good goalies that got hot. You need a good goalie to get hot, or an elite
Western
goalie.
Conference should watch out because Binnington's getting hot again.
Yeah, Kemper's like that Kemper that Kemper for Dubois trade is turning out to be like the perfect trade for both teams. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. All right. Defensive core. Who's got the advantage? Devils or Canes?
I think I probably stick with Devils on the defense side too.
Okay.
I think the Canes do. If Dougie comes back, I think it might be a split. But I think right now, as it stands, I think the Canes have the better D-core.
I don't know if I could. Can I just call it a wash? Because I think it's a wash. Me personally, I really can't pick. When we play our style and like we talked about earlier this season, when we play that way, when the guys are connected, I think we have the better D-core. But our D-cores, I just need to get 100% confidence in them again. They've been playing great, but I really just want to see that. But when we are at our best, I think we have the better D-core.
I think this is the last year that, I think Burns is on the back 9 and, Chatfield apparently knows judo. So I'm a little worried about him.
Can't use that on the ice though. That's a totally different sport.
Yeah, and we can get to the forwards, but they play a very good connected defensive game. That man-to-man style that's so exhausting. That's why I think Brad could be pretty valuable, just running those guys around so much that he just wears them out.
Go ahead, Bob.
I like DJ's comment that they don't have a Luke Hughes. And I think he's dead on there. I think that, the last time that the NHL made like an inappropriate rule change because they were trying to take a skill away from our goalie, I feel like they're gonna like widen the blue line just to give other defenders a chance to walk the line like Luke can, just to make it fucking more fair. That's how good the guy's getting. And if he just wants to tear it up in the playoffs, like he might be able to.
I think it was the couple of games ago against the Wild. It was one where he scored that goal, and I texted you guys, and I said Luke is going to, well, something along the lines of this dude is going to absolutely open everybody's eyes this summer. I mean, this playoffs. I mean, he is so freaking good.
Chris, you see, he didn't do the drop pass again on one of the power plays. He turned, and it was like he was almost like a little disappointed little kid. He's like, "Oh man, nobody's there." So he's like, "Fuck it, I guess I'll just walk into the zone myself." And just did. He like the kid is such a good skater. He actually fumbled the puck at the end of it, and we didn't actually get the zone entry on it. But it's just really funny how he's like, "Oh man," he has a little mopey face.
Luke Hughes' coming out party is going to be these playoffs, and I'm telling you, he is going to open up a ton of eyes. And I think he can be a monster. I think he can absolutely take this team where it needs to go. I mean, you look at maybe I am comparing him a little bit to Cale Makar. I've done that a lot. I think he has the potential to be as good, if not better, than Cale Makar. But like Cale's second year, right? Good year, playoffs. He absolutely lit it up in the playoffs, right?
We also got to keep Luke on power play 1. Like we just
absolutely. That would be a mistake.
They can't take him off that now. I've heard him said it before, but at the beginning, we got to put Dougie on power play 2 if he comes back.
Yeah, we touched on that a little bit on the last show. I think we were all in agreement on that you can't take Luke off power play 1. All right, which leads to the forwards.
I guess I'm a little torn on the forwards. Maybe I'd have a different idea if Jack were here, but he's not. So, I mean, like a push, I guess. I think I feel comfortable saying that. Neither one stands out to me as well above the other.
I think, I guess it kind of nets out as a wash. I think our higher end players are better than their higher end players, but their lower end players are better than our lower end players. Like their depth is better than ours, but our top 2 lines are better than theirs. So kind of just works itself out in a wash. But like I was watching like Cotter today. He was just such a menace on the forecheck. Like if he can bring that every single game, like I feel like he's going to be such an important cog in the playoffs for us. Like he is just such a menace. And if that Palat Tatar line can keep playing like they are, like maybe I'm wrong about their depth being better, but I think right now their depth is a little better. Like they're running out Stahl as a third line center, and he's just an absolute menace of a lockdown center. Like we don't have anybody like that. But I think Nico Bratt, Timo are better than Svechnikov, Aho, and what other fucking scrub that they
Stankoven.
Yeah, exactly, TJ. That's what I meant. It depends on what Hologlass and Sprong we got.
Yeah,
Timo's a pain in the ass today too.
Cotter, Timo, Nason. We never even talked about him. He has a level he can turn it up in the playoffs, and he's going to be chomping at the bit to get his hands on Carolina. So, I think he can be an X factor. I think we had the advantage on the forward group. I really do. You named the 3 guys, right? They're 3 guys. That's basically it.
Yeah, but then but fucking Jordan Martinook's going to score like 8 goals in 3 games.
I know what you're saying. But maybe Dawson Mercer will. You know what I mean? Like you can see
that's adorable.
Oh, hey, Mercer's another guy that can turn it on. He'll score us some big goals before this thing's over.
Confidence in the playoffs can make you roll, man.
Yeah.
And anybody scores a goal, they feel confident.
Mike, I know Martinook is trash, but he fucking
that was his point. That was your point.
That was my point. Is that they're going to have some garbage man plumber that's going to score like a hat trick against us.
But
sorry about the Timo thing. Just the one funny thing from today. When he got stopped on a rush, he tried to kind of dangle under someone's triangle, and I think it was Vakanainen, and then he just was like, fuck it, and just like threw him.
Threw him on
That was great. He was like, I'm not going to get through you, so I might as well just fucking throw you.
Crew behind me wanted to tell me on that.
That was awesome. He just threw him on his ass. I just all right. Last category. behind the bench, who's got the advantage? Rod Brindamore v. Sheldon Keefe.
I guess until I think it's got to go to Brindamore, just like because of body of work. Because as of this moment, and we only have Keefe so far this year, but all I've heard about was like how they didn't advance through the playoffs as a Leaf. So I guess for that reason alone, I have to go with Brindamore.
I mean, I think it's Brindamore, even though he probably still has the crown for the most ridiculous comment from the playoffs last year.
2 years ago.
I think was it last year or 2 years ago when he was
Maybe
like,
we're thinking of two different comments.
when he was like, we didn't get swept when
2
they
years
clearly
ago.
got swept.
That was 2 years ago
Was it
against
2 years ago?
the Panthers. Yeah, that was the year that Vegas won. Yeah.
If they can't get through us and like they have to ask some serious questions about Brindamore and the style that they play and just how it doesn't seem to translate into playoff hockey. Like there's they play a very aggressive man-to-man system in the D zone, and I'm wondering. I think we can get through that. We should be able to get through that, but like I said, it's going to be a tough series. But I think the Devils need to get on the front foot early and like steal a win in Carolina. Like that's what sucked 2 years ago is we just had this emotional high, amazing win against the Rangers. Literally had to get on a plane and play Carolina like the next day and just got the fucking doors blown off us. And like I don't think we even had a chance in that series after that. They gave us one win and then that was kind of it.
Yeah, it was a big win though. I'm going to give the advantage. I'm going to give the advantage. I got to give the advantage to Rod Brindamore. Sheldon Keefe in 5 years has made it out of the first round once. I think Rod Brindamore in 6 or 7 has never not made it out of round one. So it's got to be Rod. I mean, in the end, though, neither one of them have won cups as coaches. I love what Sheldon Keefe has been doing, but Rod Brindamore is there. He's going to be coaching the Canes for the next 20 years. So I mean, Sheldon Keefe, maybe I just see like a little bit of a difference. Like what it is, like kind of that respect factor, like Mike Tomlin from Pittsburgh, right? Like he's not necessarily the greatest coach, but you know what you're going to get every single time you go on to the ice to play. I mean, on the field to play the Steelers. You know what you're getting when you step on the ice to play the Canes. They're never not going to show up. They're never going to give an effort like the Rangers kind of did today in the third period. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're always going to be nipping at your heels and breaking your ball. And if you don't play a full 60 minutes, they're going to beat you. So can the Devils match all that intensity and everything? I mean, I think they can.
I think they can. I'd like to see another third period where we kind of let the foot off the gas a little bit and kind of retreated into a bit of a shell. I'd like to see them stop doing that. I don't know if it's a Keefe thing, if it's a mentality thing, but we're not going to be able to get away with that shit in the playoffs. Like we're going to get fucking pounded like we're in federal prison if that happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it seems like we all had them at least even or better in most categories with a push here or there, different between like the three of us. Let me ask you, because I know about our special teams. I know how it works in totality, both the penalty and the power play. How does that stack up to Carolina? I know we're better. Are we a lot better? Does anyone know off the top of your head?
I'll find out for in 2 seconds.
I think the PK is pretty comparable. I think our power play is one of the best in the league, especially lately.
Enough to at least say advantage Devils special teams.
Do we know where the the Devils are right now, what power play and stuff? The Canes right now. All right, so here we go. The Canes, their record is 46-26-4. They have a .632 winning percentage. They have scored 247 goals. That's good for 8th.
4th for both, the guys are saying.
What's that?
For us, 4th for both power play and penalty kills.
The 4th for both. Okay. 247 goals for, 205 goals against. They're 8th for both with a goal differential of 42. That's 7th. Their power play is 18.9%, 23rd in the league.
Power play is awful. I didn't realize it was that bad.
I didn't either.
That's because they don't have any like really kind of elite guys. Jarvis, I forgot about him. He's a little sniper. Can I say something about Jarvis?
Yes, please.
I find it really hard to dislike that guy.
Oh, I don't. I love him.
Like, I think he's such a funny little goofy guy, even though his face looks like a melted candle. Like,
Nobody has more face than Sebastian Aho. He must have ripped his mother in half coming out of that. Are you kidding me? You see the size of that mother freaking melon? Jesus. His head's so big, his eyes are like so far apart. He looks like Uma Thurman.
That is fetal alcohol syndrome.
Yes, he looks like a fetal alcohol syndrome, baby.
Yeah, their power play sucks, but their penalty killing's first.
Mom drops off.
Jesus Christ. Hang on, let's see how it's been doing of late.
And are you still talking about Jarvis?
No, I'm done with Jarvis.
Their penalty kill, Bob, is 84.8. That's good for first in the NHL. Okay. So we are fourth across the board. They're 23rd, bottom third in the league in power play, and they're top of the league in penalty kill. So, I mean,
they're a defensive team.
It's a slight advantage for us.
They're a defense first team. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how our power play fares against their penalty kill, but our penalty kill should be able to take care of their power play.
It's going to be a fun series. Just, I hope no injuries for the Devils for the next 5 games. Is that right? With 5 games left, that's all we got, and we can get this thing going.
It's almost over, man.
I know, and it's so nice knowing that we're going to play an 83rd game, and then because there's nothing like last year that was more depressing when you got to this point, knowing that we're done. We're going home, and 2 weeks from today, the playoffs start.
And the one thing I'll say, like, I know it hasn't been pretty, and like I know January and February were kind of, pretty rough play wise, and then we lost Jack and lost Dougie and Siegs, but we are still going to the fucking playoffs. And once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen, and we can take the Canes. We can. Things have to go right, and things have to go well for us, but we can take this fucking team. And then we can take the Capitals.
What do I say?
And then Colorado, and then we can win the Cup.
What do I text you guys every time this team does something that's just awesome or we
love this team?
I love this team. That's it. I love this team, and I think they can do some damage. It's going to be fun. Anything else you guys want to add?
No, I almost died yesterday.
Do you want to share?
Yeah, again.
Right? Jesus.
You need to slow down because we can't go find another podcaster that quick.
Mike Ruffalo.
I mean, because
Mike Ruffalo take over for me in a heartbeat. Michael come kill me himself and take over.
What the hell do you do?
Driving to my nephew's lacrosse game in the Cradle Division III lacrosse that corridor in Pennsylvania. It's like Franklin and Marshall and Dickinson, and then we're at Ursinus College, which is in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, up outside of Philadelphia. So driving Pennsylvania Turnpike, Bobby, you probably know on Pennsylvania Turnpike you can do like 100 and nobody gives a fuck on it. So we're cruising along in the left lane, and just out of nowhere, the dude in the right lane just decides to move over, like right on top of us.
Didn't see it.
So we swung into my brother was driving and swung into the rumble strip into the median a little bit, and the Pennsylvania Turnpike has those dirt medians that are kind of dug out like that. So kind of tailed into it and then straight across the highway. And luckily nobody was behind us, so we were kind of sliding sideways on the highway for maybe 20, 30 feet before my brother was able to recover. So we're doing that about 90 miles an hour. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there on my phone reading an article from Daniel Moya about how more people should participate in the U.S. World Championship. So I'm like, what am I doing with my life as I'm about to die? So,
that's scary, man.
Yeah,
holy crap.
Scary. Pretty scary. So then we went to Arby's.
Well, I speak for everybody when I say we're glad you're here with us tonight.
But right after that, I will finish on this. Saw the funniest thing I've ever seen. So we're in Intercourse, Pennsylvania, which is a real town.
Sure.
It's a very Amish.
Nothing ever happens there.
It's an Amish Mennonite hotbed.
Do they know what the name of their town is?
Yeah, I think they do. They're famous for having lots of kids. We're in Intercourse. We're driving by this farm. This Mennonite guy. They wear like these little weird fedoras, just saw this guy driving like right in front of his barn, like on a 10-speed bike with a little basket on it, and then he just tries to pop a wheelie. He's like, "Eek," just wheelie on his little 10-speed, and then he just falls over. We were just driving by when it happened. I don't know.
That's
I was just
awesome.
like, and my brother and I both saw it happen at the same time. And we're just like, "Did you see that?"
I'm embarrassed to say that's kind of like me on my mountain bike. You know how many times I've gone to Trek and I'm like, I don't understand why I can't actually pull a wheelie on this thing. I'm not a weak dude. What am I doing wrong? He's like, so many guys can't do a wheelie on this mountain bike.
No,
It's
I can't.
It's just so funny how this guy's like in his little, not to make fun of a particular religion or culture, but like a little Mennonite outfit, and he's on a 10-speed with a basket. He tried to do a wheelie, just ain't shit.
Krusty, you must do the poop.
And the fact that we both saw it happen at the same time, it was so
You know, just think about you'd be so viral right now if you were running your camera and just to see that. People, are you kidding me? That'd be the best thing ever. I have to talk privately real quick with Mike, so I apologize. I love the favor. I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that Paul Heyman was crying in the ring, explaining it. And yeah, of course, Reigns is going to get screwed. That's the whole point. Or is it going to be a double screw and Heyman's really with Seth Rollins? Well, we'll find out. But that's all the wrestling, guys. I promise. All right. Anything else you guys want to add for tonight?
No, go Devils. Tuesday. I think our magic number is like 3 or something like that to officially clinch.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think the Rangers tie or lose. They are officially done on Monday against Tampa, I believe.
Oh, so, yeah, that'll be easy. Yeah. You know, at least they're not like playing for. At least they're not playing for first in the Atlantic.
They looked so checked out, man. Like middle of that second period, they just look so checked out.
They're done, and I think the recovery is not going to be overnight. This is not going to be a Washington Capital kind of turnaround here. I think this pain might last a little while in New York, and they fucking deserve it.
Yeah, so, good for them. Too bad. So sad. Right. What a shame. I don't.
If you're watching us. If you're watching us on the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. To all you guys chilling with us tonight, thank you. Again, always a ton of fun hanging out with everybody. If you're listening to us, a 5-star review, a positive comment, a subscription, a download really does help the little podcast that could. For Tim and Bob, I'm Chris. We're the Uncle Puckers, and we'll see you when we see you.
Bye-bye.
It's over, Johnny. It's over!